Hi, friends. Welcome to Forgotten Hours, Sparkle Smile. Here we explore calming stories, poetic journeys, and timeless cultures. If you enjoy this kind of content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. Your feedback and ideas mean the world to us and help us create even better stories. Chapter 1: Valley of the First Dawn. You stand at the edge of an ancient valley. The sun begins its gentle descent behind distant mountains, casting long shadows across the sacred landscape of ancient Persia. The air is warm and still, carrying with it the scent of wild roses and the distant murmur of a sacred river. This is the land where Zoroaster once walked, where his footsteps first touched the earth, where his voice first spoke of light and truth. You take a deep breath, feeling the ancient peace settle into your soul. The valley stretches before you like a tapestry woven from golden light. Every blade of grass seems to shimmer. Every stone holds the memory of prayers whispered long ago. A river flows nearby, its waters clear and gentle. This is the Daitya River, where legend says Zoroaster's mother, Dukdova, came to drink, her child within her womb, already blessed by Ahura Mazda, the wise Lord, the source of all goodness and light. You walk slowly toward the riverbank. Your footsteps are soft upon the earth. Each step connects you to the countless pilgrims who have walked this path, seeking wisdom, seeking peace, seeking the eternal flame that burns within all creation. The water laps gently against the stones, creating a rhythm like a lullaby. You kneel beside the river, cupping the cool water in your hands. As it flows through your fingers, you feel connected to the flow of time itself, to the moment when Zoroaster first opened his eyes and saw the world filled with divine light. The sun continues its descent, painting the sky in shades of amber and rose. These are the colors of the sacred fire, the flame that represents Ahura Mazda's presence in the world. You close your eyes and feel the warmth on your face, imagining the moment when Zoroaster first received his vision. He was 30 years old, standing by a river much like this one, when the angel Vohumana, good thought, appeared before him. The angel was 9 times taller than a man, shining with celestial light, leading Zoroaster into the presence of Ahura Mazda himself. You open your eyes and gaze across the valley. The landscape seems unchanged from that sacred time. The same mountains rise in the distance, their peaks touched with eternal snow. The same wind whispers through the grass, carrying messages from the divine realm. A hawk circles overhead, its wings catching the last rays of sunlight. In Zoroastrian tradition, birds are messengers between earth and heaven. This hawk might carry the prayers of the faithful up to the realm of infinite light, where Ahura Mazda dwells in eternal glory. You rise from the riverbank, brushing the water from your hands, and begin walking deeper into the valley. The path is worn smooth by generations of pilgrims, each seeking their own moment of revelation, their own glimpse of the divine truth that Zoroaster brought to the world. As you walk, you remember the teachings, Asha, truth and righteousness, the foundation of all good thought, good word, good deed. This is the threefold path that leads to paradise, the path that Zoroaster revealed to humanity. The grass beneath your feet is soft and yielding. Each blade seems to whisper ancient prayers. Ashem Vohu, righteousness is the best good. The words float through your mind like a gentle breeze, bringing peace to your heart. Ahead, you see a grove of ancient trees. Their branches are heavy with fruit, pomegranates and quinces, symbols of fertility and eternal life. These trees have stood here for centuries, perhaps millennia, witnessing the passage of empires, the rise and fall of kings, yet remaining rooted in the eternal truth. You enter the grove, finding a place to rest beneath the largest tree. Its trunk is massive, scarred by time, but still strong. Its roots run deep into the sacred earth, drawing sustenance from the same soil that nourished Zoroaster's footsteps. A light grows softer now, filtering through the leaves in dappled patterns, like the play of shadows in a fire temple, where the sacred flame dances eternally, never extinguished, never dimmed, a symbol of the divine spark that burns within every human heart. You lean against the tree trunk, feeling its strength, its permanence. This tree has seen the birth of prophets, the writing of sacred texts, the prayers of countless faithful. It stands as a witness to the eternal nature of truth, which cannot be destroyed by time or change. A gentle breeze stirs the leaves above, creating a soft, rustling sound, like the whisper of prayers or the turning of pages in the Avesta, the holy book that preserves Zoroaster's teachings. The wind carries the scent of jasmine, sweet and intoxicating, a reminder of the beauty that flows from divine creation. As the sun sinks lower, the first stars begin to appear. Tishtria, the dog star, brightest of all, shines with particular intensity. In Zoroastrian cosmology, Tishtria is the Yazata, the divine being, who brings rain and fertility to the earth. Tonight, its light seems especially bright, as if blessing your pilgrimage. You close your eyes and listen to the sounds of the valley settling into evening, the distant call of a nightingale, the gentle lowing of cattle returning home, the soft splash of fish jumping in the river. All of creation participates in the evening prayer, offering gratitude for another day of life. In the growing darkness, you begin to see a faint glow on the horizon. Not the sun, which has already set, but something else, something sacred. It is the light of the fire temple, built upon the hill where Zoroaster first proclaimed his message. The eternal flame that burns there has never been extinguished, maintained by faithful priests for over 2,000 years. You rise from your resting place, drawn by that distant light. Your feet find the path without conscious thought, following the route that pilgrims have taken for generations. The way leads gradually upward, out of the valley, toward the sacred fire that represents the presence of Ahura Mazda in the world. As you walk, you remember the story of Zoroaster's birth, how his mother dreamed of a great light, how the evil spirits trembled when he came into the world, how he laughed instead of crying. The only newborn ever to do so, a sign of his divine mission. The path winds through fields of grain, wheat and barley, the crops that sustain life. In Zoroastrian thought, agriculture is sacred work, transforming the raw earth into nourishment for humanity. Every seed planted is an act of cooperation with Ahura Mazda, every harvest a celebration of divine bounty. The grain waves gently in the evening breeze, creating patterns like waves upon the sea. The sound is hypnotic, soothing, like a lullaby sung by the earth itself. You pause to run your fingers through the grain, feeling the fullness of the kernels, the promise of bread and life. Above you, more stars emerge. The constellation of Ursa Major, which the ancient Persians called the Great Chariot, appears in the northern sky. According to tradition, this is the chariot of Mithra, the Yazata of contracts and oaths, who ensures that promises are kept and justice is done. Above you, more stars emerge. The constellation of Ursa Major, which the ancient Persians called the Great Chariot, appears in the northern sky. According to tradition, this is the chariot of Mithra, the Yazata of contracts and oaths, who ensures that promises are kept and justice is done. You continue walking, the glow of the fire temple growing brighter with each step. The path begins to climb more steeply, leading up the hillside. Olive trees line the way, their silver leaves catching what little light remains. These trees are ancient, some perhaps dating back to Zoroaster's time, their gnarled trunks bearing witness to centuries of pilgrimage. The air grows cooler as you climb, carrying with it new scents, the sharp fragrance of cypress, the sweetness of night-blooming jasmine, the clean smell of stone and starlight. Each breath fills you with peace, with the sense of drawing closer to something infinitely sacred. Halfway up the hill, you pause at a small shrine. A niche carved into the rock holds a simple oil lamp, its flame flickering in the breeze. This is one of many such shrines, marking the path to the main temple. Each flame a prayer, a offering, a connection to the divine. You add your own prayer to the countless others, asking for wisdom, for peace, for the strength to follow the path of righteousness. The flame seems to burn brighter for a moment, as if acknowledging your petition, then settles back into its gentle dance. The path continues upward, now paved with ancient stones, worn smooth by the passage of feet. Each stone was placed with reverence, each step taken in the direction of light. You can feel the devotion embedded in the very ground, the accumulated prayers of generations of seekers. As you near the summit, you begin to hear something, a low humming sound, rising and falling like the wind. But this is not wind. It is the sound of priests chanting, their voices joined in the ancient prayers, the yasna, the central act of Zoroastrian worship, praising Ahura Mazda and all the divine beings who serve the cause of light. The sound grows stronger as you approach, filling your heart with warmth. The words are in Avestan, the sacred language. But their meaning transcends words. They speak of light conquering darkness, of truth overcoming falsehood, of the ultimate victory of good over evil. You reach a terrace, a flat area carved into the hillside. From here, you can see the entire valley spread out below. The river winds through it like a silver ribbon. The groves and fields are patches of shadow and starlight. The whole landscape seems to glow with inner peace. But ahead, the true source of light awaits. The fire temple stands at the very peak, its walls built of white stone, its dome crowned with the symbol of Ahura Mazda, the winged disk that represents the divine presence, watching over all creation with infinite compassion. You climb the final steps, your heart beating with anticipation. The chanting grows louder, more beautiful. The priests' voices blend in perfect harmony, creating a sound that seems to connect earth and heaven, matter and spirit, the human and the divine. At the temple entrance, you pause, removing your shoes as tradition requires. The stones are cool beneath your feet, but not cold, warmed by the countless prayers, the accumulated devotion of all who have entered this sacred space. An elderly priest greets you at the threshold. His face is kind, weathered by years of service. His eyes hold the wisdom of one who has spent his life tending the sacred fire. He places his hand on your shoulder, a gesture of welcome, of blessing. "Peace be upon you," he whispers, his voice soft as silk. Enter into the presence of the wise Lord. Let the eternal flame illuminate your path. You step across the threshold into the temple proper. The walls are simple, unadorned except for the sacred symbols. The fire altar stands at the center, built of white stone, topped with a bronze fire holder, and within that holder burns the flame. It is not a large fire, no bigger than what might warm a small room, but its light seems to fill the entire space, dancing and flickering, casting moving shadows on the walls. The flame is fed by sandalwood, by frankincense, by all the sweetest woods and resins. Just the flame, creating a fragrance that lifts the soul toward heaven. You find a place to sit, cross-legged on a simple carpet. The other worshippers are few. The hour is late, but their presence adds to the peace. Each person here has come seeking the same thing: connection with the divine, understanding of the eternal mysteries, peace for the troubled heart. The priests continue their chanting, their voices rising and falling in ancient rhythms. The words wash over you like waves, carrying you deeper into meditation, deeper into the presence of Ahura Mazda. The fire dances before your eyes, hypnotic, eternal, beautiful. As you watch the flame, you begin to understand its symbolism. This fire is not merely light, not merely heat. It is the visible presence of Ahura Mazda in the world, the divine energy that creates and sustains all life, a light that shines in every human heart, waiting to be kindled, waiting to burn bright. The flame has been burning here for over 1,000 years, never extinguished, never allowed to die, tended by priests who have dedicated their lives to this sacred duty, fed by the prayers and offerings of the faithful, maintained as a beacon of hope in a world that sometimes seems dark. You close your eyes, but the flame continues to dance behind your eyelids. Its light has become part of you, illuminating the darkness of your own heart, showing you the truth that Zoroaster proclaimed, that every human being is capable of choosing light over darkness, good over evil, truth over falsehood. The chanting fades to a whisper, then to silence. The priests withdraw, leaving you alone with the flame. This is the time of deepest meditation, when the soul can commune directly with the divine, without the mediation of words or ceremonies. You open your eyes and gaze into the fire. Its light seems to contain all colors, all possibilities, all the wisdom of the ages. In its depths, you glimpse the same vision that came to Zoroaster, the revelation that transformed him from a seeker into a prophet. Time seems suspended. You might have been sitting here for minutes, or hours, or years. The flame burns on, eternal, unchanging, while all around it, the world spins through its cycles, seasons changing, empires rising and falling, but the light remaining constant. Gradually, you become aware of the world beyond the flame. The night has deepened. Through the temple windows, you can see the stars in their full glory. The Milky Way stretches across the sky like a river of light, connecting this earthly temple to the celestial realms where Ahura Mazda dwells. You rise slowly, your legs stiff from sitting, but your spirit refreshed, renewed. The flame seems to wink at you, as if sharing a secret, as if promising that its light will remain with you, wherever your journey might lead. You bow deeply before the fire altar, offering your gratitude, your reverence, your commitment to follow the path of righteousness. Then you turn and walk slowly toward the temple entrance, your footsteps soft on the ancient stones. The priest who welcomed you earlier is waiting by the door. He smiles as you approach, his eyes twinkling with understanding. The flame has spoken to you, he says simply. Its light will guide your steps. You nod, unable to find words. The experience has been too deep, too sacred for ordinary speech. Instead, you place your hands together, bow once more, and step out into the night. The air outside seems cooler now, fresher, charged with possibility. The stars shine more brightly than before, as if the flame has awakened your perception, opened your eyes to the divine light that permeates all creation. You begin your descent, following the path back down the hillside. But you are not the same person who climbed up. The flame has changed you, marked you, claimed you as one of its own. From now on, you will carry its light within you. A source of warmth in cold times, a beacon of hope in dark hours. The olive trees seem to nod as you pass, their leaves rustling in greeting. The night birds call softly, welcoming you into their midnight world. Every step takes you deeper into the mystery, deeper into the understanding that Zoroaster brought to humanity. As you reach the valley floor, you see the river again, its surface reflecting the starlight like scattered diamonds. You kneel once more at its edge, cupping the cool water, drinking deeply, feeling it cleanse you from within, preparing you for the next stage of your journey. The water tastes of mountain snow, of ancient springs, of the source from which all life flows. As you drink, you remember Zoroaster's words about water, how it is sacred, how it must never be polluted, how it carries the blessing of Ahura Mazda to all living things. You rise and look back at the temple, now a distant glow on the hilltop. The flame still burns, will always burn, connecting this moment to eternity, this place to the divine realm, your heart to the heart of creation. An owl calls from the grove of fruit trees, its voice deep and mysterious. In Persian tradition, Owls are creatures of wisdom, messengers from the world of spirits. Perhaps this one brings word from Zoroaster himself, blessing your pilgrimage, encouraging you to continue on the path of light. You enter the grove once more, finding your way to the great tree where you rested earlier. Its trunk seems even more massive in the darkness, its presence even more comforting. You settle against its base, feeling the rough bark against your back, the solid earth beneath you. Above, the leaves whisper secrets to the wind, stories of all who have rested here, pilgrims and prophets, kings and commoners, all seeking the same truth, all finding it in their own way, all contributing to the great tapestry of understanding that spans the centuries. The pomegranates hang heavy on the branches, their red skin gleaming in the starlight. Each one is perfect, complete, a symbol of the divine order that underlies all existence. In their seeds, future orchards sleep, awaiting their time to bloom, to bear fruit, to continue the eternal cycle of creation. You close your eyes and let your mind drift back through the ages to the time when Zoroaster walked these paths, when his voice first proclaimed the message of Ahura Mazda, when the world first heard the promise that light would ultimately triumph over darkness. In your imagination, you see him, tall and dignified, his eyes bright with divine fire, his voice clear as mountain water. He stands by the river, just as you did, but his words carry the weight of revelation, the power to change the world. Choose, he says, his voice echoing across the centuries. Choose light over darkness, truth over falsehood, good over evil. The choice is yours, and yours alone. But know that Ahura Mazda rejoices when you choose well. The words seem to resonate in your very bones, awakening something deep within you, a recognition, a remembering of your true nature, your divine origin, your destiny to serve the cause of light. A gentle wind stirs the grove, setting the leaves to dancing. The sound is like applause, like approval, like the very earth celebrating your awakening. You smile in the darkness, feeling lighter than air, freer than the wind, more radiant than the stars. The night is deep now, but you are not tired. The flame you witnessed has energized you, filled you with the vitality of the eternal. You could walk all night or sit here until dawn. Either would be perfect. Either would be blessed. But gradually, a sweet drowsiness begins to steal over you. Not the heaviness of exhaustion, but the gentle tiredness that comes after great joy, after profound experience, after touching the divine. Your eyelids grow heavy, your breathing slow and deep. The tree seems to embrace you, its ancient arms offering shelter, its deep roots connecting you to the earth, to all life, to the source from which everything flows. You sink deeper into its embrace, feeling utterly safe, utterly protected, utterly loved. The stars wheel overhead in their eternal dance. The river murmurs its timeless song. The wind whispers lullabies in the leaves. All of creation joins together to sing you toward sleep, toward dreams, toward the inner world where Ahura Mazda speaks most clearly to the human heart. Your last conscious thought is of the flame, still burning on the distant hill, its light reaching across the darkness, touching your heart, promising to guard your dreams. In the depths of sleep, you dream of light, of fire that never dies, of truth that cannot be destroyed, of love that embraces all creation. And in those dreams, Zoroaster walks beside you, his wisdom lighting your path, his compassion warming your heart, his eternal message guiding you home. Chapter 2. Hymns Beneath the Constellations. The night deepens around you, and in the depths of sleep, you begin to dream. You find yourself standing in a vast desert, under a sky so filled with stars that the darkness itself seems to shimmer. The sand beneath your feet is still warm from the day's sun, holding the heat like a benediction, like the embrace of Ahura Mazda's love. This is the desert of ancient Persia, where Zoroaster wandered in his youth, seeking answers to the great questions. Why do the good suffer? Why does evil seem to prosper? What is the meaning of existence? These same questions have haunted human hearts since the beginning of time. Above you, the stars form patterns of incredible beauty, constellations that the ancient Persians knew well. Ursa Major, the great chariot, carries the souls of the righteous to paradise. Cassiopeia, the seated woman, watches over mothers and children. The Pleiades, the seven sisters, dance in eternal celebration of divine harmony. But tonight, the stars seem different, more alive, more present, as if they are not merely distant suns, but actual beings, Yazatas, divine spirits, messengers of Ahura Mazda, each one carrying a specific blessing, a particular wisdom, a unique gift for humanity. You begin to walk across the desert, drawn by an invisible force. Your feet sink slightly into the sand, leaving tracks that the wind quickly erases. Nothing marks your passage, yet everything changes in your wake. The very air seems charged with possibility, with the potential for revelation. As you walk, you become aware of a sound, faint at first, like the whisper of wind across sand, but gradually growing stronger, more distinct. It is the sound of voices, ancient voices, chanting in the Avestan tongue, the sacred language that Zoroaster used to record his visions. The chant seems to come from the stars themselves, as if the celestial beings are joining their voices in praise. Their words flow down like starlight, filling the desert with music, with worship, with the eternal hymns that celebrate the glory of Ahura Mazda. Ahura Mazda, wise Lord, creator of all that is good, source of light and truth and righteousness. We praise you. We worship you. We choose you above all other gods. The words wash over you like waves, carrying you deeper into the mystery, deeper into the understanding that Zoroaster brought to the world. You close your eyes and let the chant fill your being, becoming part of you, changing you from within. When you open your eyes, you are no longer alone. A figure walks beside you, tall and majestic, his robes flowing in the desert wind, his face radiant with inner light. You know without being told that this is Zoroaster himself, the prophet, the messenger, the one who brought fire from heaven. He does not speak, but his presence is enough. Walking beside him, you feel the weight of centuries, the wisdom of ages, the accumulated understanding of all who have sought truth. His very footsteps seem to bless the sand, to transform the desert into sacred ground. He does not speak, but his presence is enough. Walking beside him, you feel the weight of centuries, the wisdom of ages, the accumulated understanding of all who have sought truth. His very footsteps seem to bless the sand, to transform the desert into sacred ground. Together, you walk toward a distant light, not the harsh glare of the sun, but something softer, more welcoming, more alive. As you draw closer, you see that it is a fire, burning without fuel, without any visible source, sustained by the divine will alone. This is one of the sacred fires of Zoroaster's vision, the flames that burn on the spiritual plane, representing the presence of Ahura Mazda in every place, at every time. The fire dances and flickers, casting moving shadows on the sand, creating patterns that seem to tell stories, to reveal secrets, to unlock mysteries. Around the fire, you see other figures, ancient priests, their heads covered, their hands raised in prayer. They chant the gathas, the sacred hymns that Zoroaster composed, their voices blending in perfect harmony, creating music that seems to bridge earth and heaven. Ashem Vahu Vahishtamasti, they sing. Righteousness is the best good. Righteousness for the sake of best righteousness is happiness. Happy is he who is righteous for the sake of best righteousness. You and Zoroaster join the circle around the fire, taking your places among the worshippers. The flames seem to recognize you, leaping higher, burning brighter, welcoming you into the eternal ceremony, the timeless ritual that connects all seekers across the ages. The prophet raises his hands, and his voice joins the chant, but his words are different, newer, more immediate. These are the hymns he composed when the visions first came, when Vahumana, good thought, first appeared to him by the river. I who would serve you, O Mazda Ahura, with good thought and with the righteousness which is your truth, grant me the blessings of both worlds, the material and the spiritual, that I may guide others to your light. The words seem to take physical form, rising from his lips like flames, like butterflies, like stars. They dance in the air above the fire, creating patterns of incredible beauty, spelling out truths too deep for ordinary understanding. As the chant continues, you feel your consciousness expanding. Your ordinary sense of self begins to dissolve. You are no longer just yourself, but part of something larger, part of the cosmic order that Zoroaster revealed, part of the great struggle between light and darkness, good and evil, truth and falsehood. The stars above begin to move, slowly at first. Then, with increasing speed, they trace great circles in the sky, creating mandalas of light, cosmic wheels, divine geometries that reveal the hidden structure of reality. You watch in wonder, understanding without words, knowing without thinking. This is the vision that came to Zoroaster, the revelation of cosmic order, the understanding that existence is not random, not meaningless, but part of a great plan, a divine purpose, an eternal struggle that will ultimately end in the triumph of light. The fire before you begins to change, growing larger, more complex. You see within its flames all the fires of Zoroastrian worship. Every temple fire, every altar flame, every lamp lit in devotion. All connected, all part of one great burning, one cosmic flame that illuminates the universe. And in the depths of the fire, you see faces, the faces of all who have served the light, priests and prophets, kings and commoners, martyrs and heroes, saints and sages, all united in their devotion, all blessed by their choice to serve, all radiant with the fire of divine love. Zoroaster speaks, his voice gentle as wind, clear as water, bright as flame. See how the light connects all things, how the fire burns in every heart, how the truth unites all seekers, regardless of time, regardless of place, regardless of circumstance. This is the message I brought, the revelation I received, that every human being carries within them a spark of divine fire, a connection to Ahura Mazda, a capacity for righteousness. The choice to kindle that spark, to fan it into flame, is the most important choice anyone can make. The stars humming their celestial music, all of creation participating in the great hymn of praise. You feel tears on your cheeks, tears of joy, of recognition, of homecoming. This is what you have been seeking, this connection, this understanding, this sense of belonging to something infinitely greater than yourself. The tears seem to catch the firelight, sparkling like jewels, like liquid starlight. The fire continues to grow, reaching higher and higher, until it seems to touch the stars themselves. And indeed, as you watch, you see that the stars are flames, distant fires, each one a temple, each one a prayer, each one a connection to the divine source. The entire sky becomes a vast fire temple, with the constellations as its altar, the Milky Way as its eternal flame, the planets as its sacred vessels. This is the temple that Zoroaster saw in his vision, the cosmic sanctuary where all souls come to worship. Around you, the desert begins to bloom. Flowers spring from the sand, impossible flowers, made of light and music and pure love. They open their petals to the starlight, releasing fragrances that speak directly to the soul, that heal old wounds, that awaken dormant possibilities. This too is part of the vision. Zoroaster explains, the promise that the earth will be renewed, that the desert will bloom, that all creation will be transformed by the power of divine love. This is the fate that awaits those who choose light. The flowers continue to multiply, creating a garden in the wilderness. Trees of light spring up, their branches heavy with fruit that glows like small suns. Rivers of liquid starlight flow between them, carrying the water of life to every corner of the transformed desert. You kneel by one of these rivers, cupping the glowing water in your hands. As it touches your lips, you feel a transformation beginning within you. Old fears dissolve, ancient sorrows heal. The divine spark within you kindles into flame, burning away everything that is not essential, not true, not aligned with the cosmic order. When you rise, you are changed, still yourself, but more yourself than ever before, more connected, more aware, more alive. You can see the divine fire burning in Zoroaster, in the priests, in every living thing, all connected, all part of the one great flame. The prophet smiles, and in his smile, you see the joy of a teacher whose student has finally understood. The satisfaction of a gardener whose seeds have finally sprouted. The love of a father whose child has come home. Now you understand, he says. Now you see what I saw, feel what I felt, know what I know. The fire burns in you, as it burns in all creation. Tend it well. Feed it with good thoughts, good words, good deeds. Let it light your path and the path of others. The chanting reaches a crescendo, the voices of earth and heaven joining in perfect harmony. The fire leaps higher, the flowers bloom brighter, the stars dance faster. All of existence celebrates this moment of awakening, this birth of understanding, this kindling of the divine flame. And then, gradually, the intensity begins to fade. The vision softens, like a dream that is ending, but leaving behind its essence, its truth, its blessing. The fire settles back to its normal size. The flowers fold their petals. The stars resume their stately dance. But you are not the same. The vision has marked you, changed you, initiated you into the mysteries of light. You carry within you now a piece of that cosmic fire, a fragment of that divine truth, a seed of that promised renewal. Zoroaster places his hand on your shoulder, a gesture of blessing, of recognition, of welcome into the fellowship of light. The vision ends, he says, but the truth remains. The fire burns, the light shines, the choice awaits. Choose well, my friend, choose light. His form begins to fade, becoming translucent, then transparent, then gone. But his presence lingers, his blessing remains. His words echo in your heart like a promise, like a prayer, like a song that will never end. The other figures around the fire are fading too, returning to their own times, their own places, their own service to the light. But they leave behind their gift, their witness, their testimony to the reality of the divine fire that burns in all things. You are alone now, but not lonely. The fire still burns before you, smaller now, more intimate, but no less sacred, no less real. This is the fire you will carry with you, the flame that will light your path, the warmth that will comfort you in cold times. You reach out and touch the flame, expecting heat, but feeling only love, only peace, only the gentle caress of divine compassion. The fire does not burn you. Instead, it blesses you, marking you as one of its own, a servant of the light, a guardian of the flame. Slowly, you turn away from the fire, but not to leave it, for you know now that it will always be with you. Wherever you go, whatever you do, the flame burns in your heart, the light shines in your mind, the truth guides your steps. You begin walking back across the desert, but the landscape has changed. What seemed empty before is now full. What appeared barren is now fertile. The sand beneath your feet sparkles with divine presence. The air shimmers with divine love. The stars above sing with divine joy. As you walk, you hear other sounds, distant voices calling across the centuries, other seekers, other pilgrims, other servants of the light, all connected, all part of the great chain of being that stretches from the first creation to the final renewal. You hear the voice of Cyrus the Great, the Persian king who freed the Jewish exiles, who proclaimed religious tolerance throughout his empire. who honored the fire temples and supported the Zoroastrian priests. His voice echoes across time, speaking of justice, of mercy, of the responsibility of power. You hear the voice of the Magi, the wise men who followed the star to Bethlehem, Zoroastrian priests who recognized the divine light when it appeared in the world. Their voices speak of dedication, of perseverance, of the courage to follow truth wherever it leads. You hear the voices of countless others, known and unknown, famous and forgotten, all who have served the light, all who have tended the flame, all who have chosen good over evil. Their voices join in a mighty chorus, a celestial symphony, a hymn of praise that spans the ages. And your voice joins theirs, adding its note to the eternal song, contributing your own unique sound to the cosmic harmony. You are part of it now, part of the great tradition, part of the unbroken chain of those who serve the light. The stars above seem to pulse in rhythm with the song. Their light grows brighter, more intense, more personal. Each star is a soul, each soul a flame, each flame a note in the great symphony of existence. Together, they create music of indescribable beauty, harmony beyond imagination. You close your eyes and let the music wash over you, through you, around you. It penetrates to the very core of your being, awakening dormant potentials, healing ancient wounds, revealing hidden truths. You feel yourself expanding, growing, becoming more than you ever thought possible. When you open your eyes, the desert has given way to something else. A great library, its walls stretching impossibly high, lined with scrolls and books, tablets and manuscripts. All the wisdom of the ages, all the knowledge of humanity, preserved in this sacred space. You are surrounded by the gentle embrace of a Persian garden. The air is filled with the scent of blooming roses and jasmine. You feel the soft petals beneath your fingertips. A gentle breeze whispers through the trees, mingling with the distant sound of flowing water. You find yourself drawn to a tranquil pavilion, where the soft glow of lanterns creates a warm, inviting light. The echoes of ancient poetry and Sufi thought whisper through the air. You sip warm, fragrant tea, feeling its comforting warmth spread through your body. You feel connected to the history of this place, to the gentle wisdom of those who came before. In this serene moment, you find peace and rest, drift off, wrapped in the legacy of beauty and tranquility. This is the spiritual library of Zoroastrian wisdom, where the teachings of the prophet are preserved not just in words, but in living light. Each text glows with inner fire. Each scroll pulses with divine energy. Each book contains not just information, but transformation. You walk between the towering shelves, your footsteps echoing in the vast space. The air itself seems thick with knowledge, with understanding, with the accumulated wisdom of thousands of years. Every breath you take fills you with new insights, new possibilities, new connections to the divine truth. On one shelf, you find the original Gathas, the sacred hymns that Zoroaster composed, written in letters of fire, glowing with the same light that filled the prophet when he first received his visions. As you read, the words seem to leap from the page, entering your heart directly, becoming part of your very being. Through good thought and truth and righteousness, the soul shall attain to paradise, to that best existence where Ahura Mazda dwells in infinite light. The words resonate in your consciousness, creating harmonics of meaning, layers of understanding that unfold like flowers blooming in fast motion. Another shelf holds the yasna, the liturgy of Zoroastrian worship, the prayers that priests have chanted for over 2 millennia. As your eyes scan the sacred text, you hear the voices of countless generations, all joining their prayers to yours, all adding their devotion to the eternal flame of worship. We worship Ahura Mazda, the radiant, the glorious, the greatest and best, the most beautiful, the wisest, the creator of all that is good. The prayer fills your mind, your heart, your soul, becoming not just words you read, but words you live, words you are. On yet another shelf, you discover texts you have never seen before, commentaries and interpretations, philosophical treatises, mystical poetry, all inspired by Zoroaster's vision, all exploring different facets of the divine truth, all contributing to the great tapestry of understanding. One book falls open in your hands, revealing a passage that seems written specifically for you. The flame that burns in the temple burns also in the human heart. The light that illuminates the altar illuminates also the path of life. To tend the sacred fire is to tend the divine spark within. To serve Ahura Mazda is to serve the highest within yourself. The words glow brighter as you read them, burning themselves into your memory, your consciousness, your very DNA. You understand now that this is not just philosophy, not just religion, but a practical path, a way of living, a method of transformation. You continue exploring the library, each new discovery adding to your understanding. A scroll describes the cosmic battle between Ahura Mazda and Angra Mainyu, between light and darkness, good and evil. But it makes clear that this battle is not fought in some distant realm, but here, now, in every human heart, in every moment of choice. Another text explains the role of the Yazatas, the divine beings who serve Ahura Mazda, each one representing a different aspect of divine truth. Nithra, the keeper of contracts and oaths. Anahita, the goddess of waters and fertility. Rashnu, the judge of the dead. All working together to maintain cosmic order, to support those who choose light. You realize that you are not reading about ancient history, but about present reality. These divine beings are not mythological figures, but living forces, active powers, available to help and guide all who call upon them. The Yazatas are as real as the stars, as present as the air you breathe. A beautiful manuscript catches your eye, its pages illuminated with intricate designs, geometric patterns that seem to move and shift as you watch. This is a book of sacred mathematics, showing how the divine order manifests in number and proportion, how the harmony of creation can be expressed in mathematical formulas. The patterns draw you in, hypnotic, meditative. You trace them with your finger, feeling their power, their significance. Each curve, each angle, each intersection represents some aspect of divine truth. some principle of cosmic law, some key to understanding the mysteries of existence. As you study the patterns, you begin to see how they correspond to the movements of the stars, to the structure of atoms, to the spiral of galaxies, to the double helix of DNA. The same divine signature, the same cosmic blueprint, repeated at every level of creation, from the infinitely small to the infinitely large. This is the unity that Zoroaster perceived, the underlying oneness that connects all things. The fire that burns in the temple is the same fire that burns in the stars. The light that illuminates the altar is the same light that illuminates consciousness. The truth that transforms the individual is the same truth that will transform the world. You close the manuscript reverently, feeling blessed by its wisdom, enriched by its beauty, transformed by its truth. The patterns continue to dance behind your eyelids, weaving themselves into your consciousness, becoming part of your inner architecture, part of your soul's blueprint. Moving deeper into the library, you discover a section devoted to prophecy, to visions of the future, to the promise of renewal and resurrection that lies at the heart of Zoroastrian hope. These texts speak of the Saoshyant, the future savior who will appear at the end of time, who will resurrect the dead, who will judge all souls, who will establish the kingdom of Ahura Mazda on earth. But as you read, you understand that this is not just about some distant future figure. The Saoshyant principle, the saving power, exists potentially in every human being. Everyone has the capacity to be a savior, a bringer of light, a servant of renewal. The future transformation of the world begins with the present transformation of the heart. Another section contains the stories of heroes and heroines, legendary figures who embodied Zoroastrian values, kings like Jamshid, who brought civilization to humanity, warriors like Rostam, who fought against the forces of darkness, queens like Golnar, who protected the innocent and upheld justice. These stories are more than entertainment, more than history. They are templates, patterns, examples of how to live in accordance with divine will. Each hero's journey mirrors the spiritual path. Each victory over external enemies represents victory over internal obstacles. Each act of courage inspires similar courage in the reader. You find yourself identifying with these heroes, seeing your own struggles reflected in their trials, your own potential reflected in their victories. The stories become mirrors, showing you who you are, who you could become, who you are meant to be. In one corner of the library, you discover a meditation chamber, a circular room, its walls covered with sacred symbols, its floor marked with intricate mandalas. At the center, a small fire burns in a crystal bowl, its flame pure white, almost transparent, like crystallized light. You enter the chamber, feeling drawn to its center, its peace, its concentrated spiritual energy. As you approach the fire, you see that it casts no shadows. Instead, it seems to illuminate everything equally, revealing hidden details, secret beauties, divine signatures, embedded in the very fabric of reality. You sit cross-legged before the flame, your breathing naturally slowing, deepening, synchronizing with some cosmic rhythm, some universal heartbeat. The fire flickers gently, hypnotically, drawing you deeper into meditation, deeper into communion with the divine. As you gaze into the flame, your ordinary consciousness begins to fade, to dissolve, to merge with something larger, vaster, more luminous. You are no longer just yourself, but part of the cosmic fire, part of the divine light, part of the eternal consciousness that underlies all existence. In this state, you receive direct teachings, not through words, but through pure understanding, through direct transmission of wisdom, through immediate experience of truth. You understand the nature of good and evil, the purpose of existence, the destiny of the soul, the plan of Ahura Mazda for creation. You see how every moment offers a choice between light and darkness, between construction and destruction, between love and fear. And you see how these choices accumulate, building momentum, creating patterns, shaping destiny, both personal and cosmic. You understand that the battle between Ahura Mazda and Angra Mainyu, between good and evil, is not predetermined. The outcome depends on the choices made by conscious beings, by humans, by you. Every choice for light strengthens the forces of good. Every choice for darkness empowers evil. But you also see that the ultimate victory of light is assured, not because it is predetermined, but because light is truth, and truth cannot ultimately be defeated. Evil can delay the victory, can cause much suffering, but cannot prevent the final triumph of good. This understanding fills you with profound peace, with unshakable confidence, with inexhaustible hope. You are part of something magnificent, something eternal, something that gives meaning to every moment, purpose to every breath, significance to every choice. The flame before you begins to expand, growing larger, brighter, more encompassing, the sacred character of all life. You are one with Ahura Mazda, one with creation, one with the eternal flame that burns at the heart of reality. Time becomes meaningless. Space dissolves. You float in an ocean of light, of love, of infinite possibility. This is the paradise that Zoroaster promised, not a place you go after death, but a state of consciousness you can enter now. The kingdom of heaven within, the eternal realm that exists parallel to ordinary reality. Gradually, gently, you begin to return to ordinary consciousness. The flame contracts, becoming once again a simple fire in a crystal bowl. The meditation chamber reassembles around you. The library returns to normal appearance. But you are forever changed, forever marked by the experience, forever connected to the divine source. You rise slowly from your meditation, your legs stiff, but your spirit soaring. The fire seems to wink at you, acknowledging the communion, blessing the experience, promising to remain with you always, wherever your journey might lead. As you leave the meditation chamber, you notice that the entire library looks different, more alive, more luminous, more meaningful. The books and scrolls seem to glow with inner light. The very air shimmers with spiritual energy. Everything is exactly as before, yet completely transformed. This is how the world looks to enlightened eyes, to consciousness awakened by divine fire. The same physical reality, but perceived through the lens of spiritual understanding. Everything becomes sacred. Everything becomes beautiful. Everything becomes a doorway to the divine. You make your way back through the towering shelves, past the countless volumes of wisdom, toward the entrance of the library. But you carry with you now more than knowledge, more than information. You carry understanding, transformation, direct experience of the divine truth. As you reach the entrance, you turn back for one last look. The library stretches away into infinity, its shelves reaching to the stars, its collections including all possible wisdom, all potential understanding, all conceivable truth. It will always be here, available to any sincere seeker, ready to share its treasures with all who approach with open hearts. You step through the entrance and find yourself back in the starlit desert, the sand beneath your feet, the infinite sky above, the eternal silence broken only by the whisper of wind. But now you see it all with new eyes, enlightened eyes, eyes that have gazed into the divine fire. The stars no longer seem distant, but intimate, personal, each one a friend, a teacher, a guide. The constellations tell stories of cosmic purpose, of divine plan, of the eternal dance between light and darkness that plays out on every level of existence. You begin walking, drawn by an inner compass, toward your next destination, your next lesson, your next opportunity to serve the light. The sand shifts beneath your feet, but your path is sure, illuminated by the divine fire that now burns within your heart. As you walk, you become aware of other travelers, other seekers, other pilgrims on the path of light. Some visible, walking beside you, others invisible, but no less real. All connected by the same divine fire, all guided by the same eternal truth, all part of the same cosmic purpose. A fellow traveler falls into step beside you, her face radiant with the same inner light you now carry, her eyes bright with the fire of divine love. She smiles but does not speak, for words are not necessary. The flame recognizes flame. The light acknowledges light. The soul greets soul. Together you walk across the starlit desert, two sparks of divine fire, two servants of the light, two participants in the great work of transformation. The night wind carries the scent of jasmine, the promise of dawn, the whisper of infinite possibility. Above you, the stars continue their eternal dance. The constellations wheel in their ancient patterns. The cosmic hymn plays on, and you are part of it. A note in the great symphony, a flame in the eternal fire, a soul on the path home. The night is deep, but morning will come. The darkness is vast, but light is stronger. The journey is long, but the destination is sure. And in your heart, the fire burns, eternal, inextinguishable, divine. Chapter 3: The Silent Flame of Wisdom. In the depths of the star-drunk night, you find yourself approaching another sacred place. The desert sand gives way to ancient stones, worn smooth by countless pilgrims' feet. Each stone holds memory. Each step connects you to the eternal stream of seekers who have walked this path before you. Ahead, bathed in the soft glow of sacred flame, stands a fire temple. Its walls are ancient, built of white limestone that seems to glow from within. The architecture is simple yet profound. Every line, every curve, every angle designed to focus the mind, to lift the spirit, to prepare the soul for communion with the divine. This is Atash Bahran, the victory fire, the highest grade of sacred flame in the Zoroastrian tradition. The fire that burns within these walls has been maintained for over 1,500 years, never extinguished, never allowed to die, tended by generations of priests who have dedicated their lives to this sacred duty. As you approach the temple entrance, you feel the weight of centuries, the accumulated prayers of countless worshippers, the concentrated devotion of all who have served the eternal flame. The very air seems thick with sanctity, charged with spiritual power, alive with divine presence. An elderly priest emerges from the shadows, his white robes flowing like liquid moonlight, his face serene with the peace that comes from a lifetime of service. His eyes hold depths of wisdom, compassion, understanding that speak of years spent in contemplation of the divine mysteries. He greets you with a gentle bow, placing his hands together in the traditional gesture of respect. Peace be upon you, seeker of truth. His voice is soft as silk, warm as candlelight. Enter into the house of Ahura Mazda. Let the eternal flame kindle the fire of wisdom in your heart. You remove your shoes at the threshold, following the ancient custom. The stones beneath your feet are warm, polished by countless pilgrim steps, imbued with the prayers, the hopes, the devotions of all who have entered this sacred space. The priest leads you through corridors lined with niches. Each niche holds a small oil lamp, its flame dancing gently in the still air. Together, these hundreds of tiny flames create a river of light, flowing toward the central sanctuary, where the great fire burns in eternal glory. Each lamp is a prayer, the priest explains, his voice echoing softly in the stone corridors. Each flame a soul's devotion. Together they create a constellation of faith, a galaxy of love, all orbiting around the central fire, the heart of our tradition, the visible presence of Ahura Mazda in the world. The corridor opens into the main sanctuary, and your breath catches in wonder. The room is circular, its domed ceiling decorated with stars, its walls carved with sacred symbols, but at the center, dominating everything, stands the fire altar. The altar is built of white marble, carved with infinite care, inlaid with precious stones that catch and reflect the firelight. Upon it sits a great bronze vessel, and within that vessel burns the victory fire, the Atash Bahran, the flame that has witnessed the rise and fall of empires, the birth and death of generations. The endless cycle of human hope. The fire is not large, no bigger than what might heat a modest home, but its presence fills the entire space. its light seems to reach into every corner, to illuminate every shadow, to warm every heart. The flame dances with hypnotic beauty, never quite the same from moment to moment, yet eternally constant in its essential nature. Around the fire, a few other worshippers sit in meditation, their faces peaceful, their breathing slow and deep, their entire being focused on the sacred flame. They are people of all ages, all walks of life, united in their devotion, their seeking, their recognition of the divine presence burning before them. The priest gestures toward a prayer rug, positioned at the perfect distance from the fire, neither too close nor too far, the spot where countless others have sat, where the stone floor has been worn smooth by centuries of prayer, where the very air seems charged with accumulated devotion. You settle onto the rug, cross-legged in the traditional posture. Your spine naturally straightens. Your breathing naturally deepens. Your consciousness naturally turns inward toward the flame within that mirrors the flame without, the eternal fire that burns in every human heart. The priest begins to chant in the ancient Avestan tongue, his voice rising and falling in rhythms older than memory. The words seem to come not just from his throat, but from the very stones, from the flame itself, from the accumulated prayers of 15 centuries. Yatha ahu vairyo, atha ratush ashat chit hacha. As the will of Ahura Mazda, so is the judgment of righteousness. The good rule will be given to those who work for Ahura Mazda. The fire begins to speak, not in words, but in images, in feelings, in direct transmission of wisdom. You see the history of this flame, how it was first kindled from lightning, from the divine fire that fell from heaven, how it was carefully tended, fed with precious woods, blessed with sacred oils, carried from temple to temple, never allowed to die. You see the priests who have served it generation after generation. Men and women who gave their lives to this sacred duty, who found in tending the flame their highest purpose, their deepest joy, their connection to the eternal. Each face appears in the fire for a moment, smiles, blesses you with their accumulated wisdom, then fades back into the eternal flame. You see the worshippers who have prayed before this fire, kings and commoners, merchants and farmers, scholars and artisans, mothers and children, all united in their seeking, their devotion, their recognition of the divine light that burns in all creation. Their prayers rise like incense. Their hopes shine like stars. Their love flows like water. The fire shows you scenes from the life of Zoroaster, the prophet as a young man, seeking answers to the great questions, wandering in the wilderness, praying by rivers, climbing mountains, always searching, always seeking, always open to the voice of the divine. You see the moment of his great revelation, standing by the Daitya river, when Vohumana, good thought, appeared before him, 9 times taller than a human, shining with celestial light, leading him into the presence of Ahura Mazda, the wise Lord, the source of all truth and goodness. The vision unfolds in the flames. Zoroaster prostrate before the throne of light, receiving the commission to teach humanity, to bring the message of truth, to kindle the fire of wisdom in human hearts. His face glows with divine fire, His voice resonates with cosmic authority. His entire being radiates the transforming power of direct contact with God. You see him teaching, gathering the first disciples, explaining the cosmic battle between good and evil, the importance of choice, the power of righteousness. His words carry fire, kindle flame, transform hearts, awaken souls to their divine destiny. Each teaching is a spark, each student a new flame, each conversion a victory of light over darkness. The fire shows you the spread of the teaching across Persia, into India, throughout the ancient world, carried by merchants, by pilgrims, by those whose hearts had been set ablaze by Zoroaster's message. Fire temples rising, priests ordained, the eternal flame kindled in sanctuary after sanctuary, a network of light spreading across the earth. You see the golden age of the Persian Empire, when Zoroastrianism was the royal religion, when kings like Cyrus and Darius ruled according to the principles of truth and righteousness, when the empire stretched from India to Egypt, united not by force alone, but by the shared recognition of divine truth, the common commitment to serve the light. The flames dance higher, and you see scenes of persecution, of temples destroyed, of priests martyred, of the faithful driven into exile. Yet through it all, the fire burns on, hidden sometimes, diminished but never extinguished, carried in the hearts of the faithful, preserved by their devotion, protected by their sacrifice. You see the Parsi migration to India, the faithful carrying coals from the sacred fire, traveling across desert and sea, establishing new temples, new communities, new centers of worship. The flame that burns before you now carries within it sparks from all these fires, all these journeys, all these acts of preservation and devotion. The visions in the fire continue, showing you the present. The scattered communities of Zoroastrians around the world, still maintaining the ancient traditions, still tending the sacred flames, still preserving the wisdom that Zoroaster brought. Their numbers may be few, but their light burns bright. Their commitment remains strong. And then the fire shows you the future, not fixed, not predetermined, but full of possibility. You see the potential for renewal, for revival, for the spreading once again of Zoroaster's message, the eternal principles of good thought, good word, good deed, finding new expression, new relevance, new power to transform human hearts. You see yourself in this vision, not as a passive observer, but as an active participant, a servant of the light, a tender of the flame. Your life, your choices, your actions, all part of the great work of transformation, all contributing to the victory of light over darkness, all meaningful in the cosmic struggle. The priest's chanting intensifies, his voice joined by the other worshippers, their words blending in perfect harmony, creating a sound that seems to bridge earth and heaven, matter and spirit, time and eternity. The fire leaps higher, burns brighter, responding to the power of united prayer. We praise the good, righteous, beneficent Dhyana, the religion of Zoroaster. We praise the teaching of Ahura Mazda. We praise the good waters, the good earth, the good plants. We praise all that is good, all that serves the light, all that participates in the cosmic order. The words seem to take physical form. rising from the lips of the chanters like butterflies, like flames, like stars. They dance in the air above the fire, creating patterns of incredible beauty, mandala of sound and light and meaning, spelling out truths too deep for ordinary understanding. As the chant reaches its climax, you feel something shift within you. A barrier dissolves, a door opens, a light kindles. The divine fire that burns before you awakens its twin in your own heart. The two flames reach toward each other, merge, become one. You are no longer separate from the fire. You are the fire, eternal, inextinguishable, divine. In this moment of union, you understand everything. The purpose of existence, the meaning of suffering, the promise of redemption, the plan of Ahura Mazda for creation. It all becomes clear, obvious, inevitable. You wonder how you could ever have doubted, ever have been confused, ever have felt lost. You see your own life from this elevated perspective. Every joy, every sorrow, every triumph, every defeat, all part of a perfect pattern, a divine design, a cosmic education, preparing you for this moment, this awakening, this recognition of your true nature as a spark of divine fire. The understanding flows through you like liquid light, healing old wounds, answering ancient questions, resolving long-held conflicts. You feel profound peace, unshakable joy, infinite compassion for yourself, for all beings, for the entire universe struggling toward the light. But even as you experience this cosmic consciousness, this unity with the divine fire, you remain grounded, practical, focused on service. The fire shows you not escape from the world, but deeper engagement, not withdrawal from humanity, but greater love, not the end of the journey, but its true beginning. The vision slowly fades, the intensity gradually diminishes, but the connection remains. The understanding persists. The fire continues to burn, no longer just in the altar before you, but in your own heart, your own being, your own life. You have been initiated, marked, claimed by the eternal flame. The chanting comes to an end. The other worshippers rise, bow to the fire, and silently depart. Each face glows with inner peace. Each step carries new purpose. Each heart burns with renewed devotion. They go back to their ordinary lives, but they are no longer ordinary people. They are servants of the light, carriers of the flame. The priest approaches, his ancient eyes twinkling with knowing joy. He can see what has happened, can recognize the signs of initiation, the marks of divine fire. He places his hands on your shoulders, a gesture of blessing, of recognition, of welcome into the inner circle of those who serve the light. The fire has spoken to you, he says simply, his voice warm with satisfaction. Its light will guide your steps. Its warmth will comfort your heart. Its truth will be your constant companion. Go now in peace. Serve well, and remember, the flame that burns here burns also within you. You bow deeply before the fire, offering your gratitude, your commitment, your life to the service of the light. The flame seems to dance in acknowledgement, in blessing, in promise. Then you rise, turn, and walk slowly toward the temple entrance. The corridors seem different now, more alive, more sacred, more meaningful. The small flames in their niches no longer appear separate, but connected, part of one great network of light, part of the cosmic fire that illuminates all existence. You are part of it now, a flame in the great constellation, a spark in the eternal fire. At the entrance, you pause to put on your shoes, but you are no longer the same person who removed them. The fire has transformed you, initiated you, awakened you to your true nature as a child of light. The physical action of putting on shoes seems almost comical, as if the divine spark you now carry could be contained by such mundane concerns. You step out into the night and immediately notice the difference. The stars seem brighter, more personal, more alive. The air carries new fragrances, jasmine, frankincense, the sweet scent of sanctity. Every breath fills you with joy, with peace, with the certainty that you are exactly where you need to be. The desert stretches before you, but it no longer seems empty. You can see the network of spiritual energy that connects all things. The web of light that binds creation together, the cosmic fire that burns in every atom, every cell, every heart. Nothing is separate. Nothing is alone. Everything participates in the divine unity. You begin walking, your steps sure despite the darkness, guided by the inner flame, the eternal fire that now burns within you. The sand beneath your feet feels sacred. As you walk, you become aware of companions, other initiated souls, other servants of the light, some visible to your physical eyes, others perceivable only by your awakened spiritual senses. All connected, all part of the great work, all servants of Ahura Mazda's plan for the transformation of the world. A figure materializes beside you, tall, dignified, radiating wisdom and compassion. At first you think it might be Zoroaster himself, but as the figure becomes clearer, you realize it is someone else, someone equally important in the Zoroastrian tradition. It is Kartir, the great high priest, the architect of fire temple construction, the one who organized the priesthood, who preserved the traditions, who ensured that the sacred flames would burn for centuries. His presence brings a sense of structure, of organization, of practical wisdom applied to spiritual goals. The fire has chosen you, he says, his voice carrying the authority of centuries of service. But choice alone is not enough. The flame must be tended. The light must be shared. The truth must be lived. Are you prepared for the responsibility, the privilege, the challenge of serving the eternal fire? You nod, feeling the weight and the honor of what he is offering. The fire within you burns brighter, confirming your readiness, your willingness, your deep desire to serve. Kartir smiles, and in his smile you see the approval of all who have served before you, the welcome of an ancient brotherhood, the blessing of the eternal flame. Then come, he says. Let us visit the places where the fire burns, the temples where the faithful gather, the sanctuaries where the ancient wisdom is preserved. Let you see with your own eyes the network of light that spans the world, the community of those who serve, the hope of humanity's future. Together, you walk across the starlit desert, two flames walking in harmony, two servants of the light, two participants in the great work of transformation. The night wind carries promises of dawn, whispers of renewal, songs of eternal hope. Behind you, the fire temple glows like a beacon, its flame visible for miles, a lighthouse for spiritual seekers, a sign of divine presence in the world. The fire within its walls burns on, as it has for 15 centuries, as it will for 15 more, eternal, inextinguishable, divine. And within you, the twin of that flame burns equally bright, equally eternal, equally divine. You are no longer just a seeker, but a finder. No longer just a student, but a teacher. No longer just a worshiper, but a priest of the eternal fire. The night deepens, but your path grows brighter. The darkness spreads, but your light expands. The world sleeps, but your consciousness awakens to ever greater levels of understanding, purpose, service. You are part of the flame now, and the flame is part of you. Together, you will kindle other flames, awaken other hearts, serve the great work of bringing light to the world. This is your destiny, your joy, your eternal privilege. Chapter 4: Cypress Shadows Before Dawn. You find yourself in a garden of ancient wonder, where time moves like honey, slow and golden through the pre-dawn hours. The night is nearly spent, yet darkness still holds you, gently, like a mother's embrace. You walk softly, so softly, along paths worn smooth by countless pilgrims, countless souls who have sought what you now seek: peace, understanding, the gentle wisdom of Zarathustra. Above you, towering cypress trees stretch toward heaven, their dark silhouettes like prayers written against the star-filled sky. These sacred sentinels have stood here for centuries, witnesses to the turning of seasons, the cycle of light and shadow, the eternal dance between night and day. The air is cool, so wonderfully cool, against your skin. Each breath you take carries the fragrance of jasmine, sweet and intoxicating, mingling with the deeper scent of cypress, earthy and grounding. You breathe deeply, letting these sacred perfumes fill your being, calm your spirit, prepare your heart. Your feet move without sound along the stone pathway. Each step is a meditation, each footfall a gentle prayer. The stones beneath you are warm still, holding the memory of yesterday's sun, sharing their warmth with your journey through this holy place. To your left, a fountain whispers, its voice barely audible, yet constant, like the heartbeat of the earth itself. Water, pure and clear, flows from carved stone, shaped by ancient hands, guided by ancient wisdom. The sound is hypnotic, soothing, drawing you deeper into this moment, this sacred now. You pause beside the fountain and listen. In its gentle murmur, you hear echoes of Zoroaster's teachings about the sacred nature of all creation. Water, one of the 4 sacred elements, blessed and pure, life-giving, cleansing, eternal. The prophet taught that water, like fire, like earth, like air, carries within it the spark of the divine. Each drop that falls from the fountain is a prayer, a blessing, a reminder that all of creation is connected, is holy, is worthy of reverence. You cup your hands and lift the cool water to your lips. It tastes of mountain springs, of ancient purity, of the very essence of life itself. As you drink, you feel the water flow through you, cleansing not just your body, but your spirit, washing away the dust of worry, the weight of the day, leaving you refreshed, renewed, at peace. The fountain's song continues as you walk on deeper into the garden. The pathway curves, following the natural flow of the land, the way water finds its course, the way wisdom finds its way into open hearts. On either side, the cypress trees stand in silent meditation. Their branches, dark against the lightening sky, sway gently in the pre-dawn breeze. You feel their ancient presence, their patient watching, their quiet blessing upon your journey. These trees have witnessed the prayers of countless souls, the tears of the faithful, the joy of pilgrims who have found what they were seeking. They have sheltered the young prophet in his moments of revelation. They have whispered their own prayers to the wind, carrying messages between earth and heaven. You reach out with one hand and touch the rough bark of an ancient cypress. Beneath your palm, you feel the slow pulse of life, the steady rhythm of growth, of endurance, of faith. This tree has stood here through war and peace, through drought and flood, through the rise and fall of empires. Yet it remains rooted, strong, eternal. In its steadfastness, you find a lesson from the great teacher. Zoroaster spoke of the importance of standing firm in truth, in goodness, in the face of all that would shake your faith, your purpose, your peace. Like the cypress, you too can be rooted, grounded, unshakable in what matters most. The breeze grows stronger, stirring the branches above. The sound is like whispered prayers, like ancient hymns carried on the wind. You close your eyes and listen, letting the cypress song fill your awareness, your being, your soul. In this sound, you hear the voice of the eternal, speaking through nature, through the simple, sacred elements of tree and wind, earth and sky. This is how the prophet learned to hear the divine voice. Not in thunder, not in earthquake, but in the gentle whisper of creation itself. You open your eyes and continue your peaceful journey. The path leads you now past beds of jasmine, their white flowers glowing softly in the pre-dawn light. The fragrance is overwhelming in the most beautiful way, wrapping around you like invisible silk, soft and precious, beyond measure. Jasmine, the flower of the night, blooms in darkness, sharing its sweetness with those who walk the quiet hours between day and day. Like the teachings of Zarathustra, jasmine's gift is most precious to those who seek in silence, in solitude, in the deep peace of contemplation. You bend and breathe deeply of the jasmine's perfume. In its sweetness, you taste the joy that comes from simple things, from the gifts that the earth offers freely. To all who pause, to notice, to receive, to be grateful. Gratitude, the prophet taught, is the foundation of all wisdom, of all peace, of all joy. To see the sacred gifts that surround you in every moment, in every breath, in every heartbeat. This is the beginning of enlightenment, of true happiness, of lasting peace. A jasmine nods gently in the breeze, as if blessing your understanding, your growing awareness of the sacred in the simple, the divine in the everyday, the eternal in the present moment. You walk on, your heart full of gratitude, your spirit light as the jasmine fragrance that follows you along the path. The garden seems to breathe around you, inhaling the night, exhaling the promise of dawn. Ahead, you see a small pavilion, built of white stone, carved with intricate patterns that speak of ancient artistry, of devotion, of love, poured into stone, made permanent, made eternal. The pavilion sits in a clearing, surrounded by more cypress, more jasmine, more of the earth's gentle gifts. You approach slowly, reverently, feeling the sacredness of this place seeping into your bones, your breath, your being. This pavilion, you sense, has sheltered many seekers, many pilgrims, many souls who have come, as you have come, seeking peace, seeking truth, seeking the gentle presence of the divine. You step onto the marble floor, cool and smooth beneath your feet. The pavilion is open on all sides, allowing the garden to flow around you, through you, making you part of the sacred space, part of the living prayer that this place has always been. In the center of the pavilion stands a simple altar made of the same white stone, polished by countless hands, countless prayers, countless moments of communion with the sacred. Upon it rests a small oil lamp, its flame steady, eternal, never wavering, never failing. This flame, you understand, represents the light of Ahura Mazda, the wise Lord, the source of all light, all truth, all goodness. It burns here, as it burns in all true hearts, constant, pure, unquenchable by any darkness, any doubt, any despair. You kneel before the altar, feeling the coolness of the stone through your knees, grounding you, connecting you to the earth, to this moment, to the eternal now that holds all moments, all prayers, all seeking souls. The flame dances gently, hypnotically, drawing your gaze, your attention, your entire being into its golden heart. In its light, you see reflected the light that burns within you, the divine spark that Zoroaster taught lives in every soul, in every heart, in every seeker of truth. Its inner light, he taught, can never be extinguished, never be diminished, never be lost. It may be covered by the dust of daily life, by worry, by fear, by forgetting, but it is always there, always burning, always ready to illuminate your path, your purpose, your peace. You close your eyes and feel the warmth of the flame on your face, gentle, loving, accepting. In this warmth, You feel the presence of the great teacher, not as a distant figure from ancient times, but as a living reality, a continuing voice, a present blessing. His teachings flow through your mind like water, like light, like the gentle breeze that stirs the jasmine. Good thoughts, good words, good deeds, the simple formula for a life well lived, a heart at peace, a soul in harmony with the divine plan. Good thoughts. You let your mind settle into gratitude, into appreciation for the beauty that surrounds you, for the peace that fills you, for the love that holds you in this sacred moment. Good words. You whisper a prayer of thanks to the cypress, to the jasmine, to the fountain, to the flame, to all the gentle teachers that have guided you to this place of understanding. Good deeds. You promise, silently, to carry this peace always onward. This wisdom, this love, back into your daily life, to share the gifts you have received, to be a blessing as you have been blessed. The flame flickers slightly, as if acknowledging your commitment, your understanding, your growth. You feel a deep contentment settle over you, like the garden's gentle shadows, like the night's soft embrace. Time seems suspended in this pavilion, in this moment, in this perfect communion with the sacred. You could stay here forever in this peace, this stillness, this holy presence, but you know that dawn is coming, and with it, a new chapter in your journey. You rise slowly, gracefully, your body feeling light, unburdened, renewed. You bow deeply to the altar, to the flame, to the presence you have felt so strongly in this place. Your bow is more than respect. It is recognition, soul to soul, light to light, divine to divine. Leaving the pavilion, you feel its blessing go with you, carried in your heart, in your breath, in the very cells of your being. The garden welcomes you back into its embrace, its pathways, its continuing, gentle pilgrimage. The sky, you notice, has begun to lighten, almost imperceptibly, the deep black softening to deep blue, to purple, to the faintest suggestion of gray. Dawn is approaching slowly, surely, inevitably, bringing with it the promise of new beginnings, new possibilities, new light. But for now, the darkness still holds the garden in its gentle grip, still offers its gifts of silence, of shadow, of the deep peace that comes only in these precious hours between night and day. You walk more slowly now, savoring each step, each breath, each moment of this sacred time. The cypress trees seem to bend closer, offering their protection, their blessing, their ancient wisdom, whispered in the pre-dawn breeze. Their shadows fall across your path, creating patterns of darkness and starlight that shift and change with each gentle movement of their branches. These shadows are not obstacles, but gifts, reminders that even darkness has its place, its purpose, its beauty in the divine plan. Zoroaster taught that light and darkness are not enemies, but partners in the eternal dance of creation. Without night, day would have no meaning. Without darkness, light would have no beauty. Without shadow, there could be no appreciation for illumination. You walk through the cypress shadows, feeling their coolness, their depth, their mystery. In their darkness, you find not fear, but comfort, not confusion, but clarity, not emptiness, but fullness of a different kind. This is the wisdom of the garden, the teaching of the trees, the gift of the shadows, that all things have their season, their time, their perfect place in the harmony of existence. The path curves again, leading you past a small stream that runs between moss-covered stones, its water catching and reflecting the last of the starlight. The sound it makes is barely audible, just the gentlest whisper of movement, of flow, of life, finding its way. You pause beside the stream and listen to its quiet song. In its murmur, you hear the voice of patience, of persistence, of the quiet strength that wears away the hardest stone, not through force, but through gentle, constant, loving presence. This stream has flowed here for centuries, through drought and flood, through summer heat and winter cold, always finding its way, always continuing its journey toward the sea, toward union, toward home. Like the stream, you too are on a journey, flowing toward your own union, your own homecoming, your own perfect peace. Sometimes the way seems difficult, the path unclear, the destination distant, but like the stream, if you keep flowing, keep moving, keep trusting, you will arrive where you are meant to be. You kneel beside the stream and touch its cool surface with your fingertips. The water flows around your fingers, welcoming, accepting, blessing your touch with its own gentle presence. In this simple touch, you feel connected to all water everywhere, to the great oceans, to the morning dew, to the rain that nourishes the jasmine, to the tears of joy and sorrow, to the blood that flows through your veins, carrying life, carrying love, carrying the essence of your being. All water, Zoroaster taught, is connected, is sacred, is part of the one great flow of existence. To touch this stream is to touch the source of all life, all creation, all being. You lift your wet fingers to your forehead, blessing yourself with the stream's gift, feeling its coolness, its purity, its life-giving essence seep into your skin, your spirit, your soul. The blessing spreads through you like ripples on the water's surface, carrying peace, carrying healing, carrying the deep knowledge that you are connected to all things, part of the great web of existence, never alone, never separate, always beloved, always held. You rise and continue your journey, carrying the stream's blessing with you, feeling its gift flowing through your being like an underground river, constant, nourishing, life-giving. The path leads you now deeper into the garden, past beds of herbs, their fragrance mixing with the jasmine, creating a symphony of scent that makes your head light, your heart full, your spirit soar. Here grows lavender, its purple spikes barely visible in the pre-dawn light, but its fragrance unmistakable, calming, healing, like the touch of a mother's hand on a fevered brow. You brush your fingers against the lavender stems, releasing more of its precious perfume into the night air. There, mint spreads its leaves cool and fresh, awakening the senses, clearing the mind, preparing the spirit for revelation. The prophet often spoke of the importance of clarity, of seeing with clear eyes, thinking with clear thoughts, acting with clear purpose. Beyond, rosemary grows, its needle leaves tough and enduring, its fragrance sharp and clean, like the mountain air where Zoroaster received his first visions, his first glimpses of divine truth. Rosemary for remembrance, for keeping alive the sacred teachings, the holy wisdom, the precious gifts of the Spirit. Each herb, you understand, is a teacher, a healer, a blessing, placed here by the same loving hand that placed the stars in the sky, the water in the stream, the flame on the altar, the peace in your heart. You walk slowly among the herb gardens, breathing deeply, taking in all their gifts, all their teachings, all their gentle blessings. Your body feels more relaxed with each breath, your mind clearer, your spirit lighter, more at peace. This is the gift of the garden, the blessing of this sacred place, to heal, to restore, to remind all who enter of their true nature, their divine heritage, their connection to all that is holy, beautiful, eternal. The sky continues its slow transformation, the deep blue lightening almost imperceptibly toward the promise of dawn. Soon the stars will fade, the shadows will retreat, the new day will begin. But for now, in these precious moments between night and day, you are suspended in perfect peace, perfect stillness, perfect communion with the sacred. You continue your gentle pilgrimage through the garden, past more cypress, more jasmine, more of the earth's generous gifts. Each step is a meditation, each breath a prayer, each moment a blessing, beyond measure, beyond description, beyond anything you have ever experienced. Ahead, you see another fountain, larger than the first, its waters dancing in multiple tiers, creating a music more complex, more varied, yet still infinitely soothing, infinitely peaceful. This fountain seems to be the heart of the garden, the center from which all paths radiate, all beauty flows. You approach with reverence, with wonder, with the growing sense that you are walking not just through a garden, but through a living prayer, a physical manifestation of the divine presence in the world. The fountain rises in 7 tiers, each level smaller than the one below, creating a perfect pyramid of flowing water, of dancing light, of liquid music. 7, the sacred number, the number of completion, of perfection, of the 7 Amesha Spentas, the 7 divine attributes that Zoroaster taught, flow from the source of all light, all wisdom, all love. At the base of the fountain, a wide pool reflects the last of the starlight, the first hints of dawn. The water is so clear, so still, except for the gentle disturbance created by the falling water from above, that you can see to the bottom, where smooth stones lie like prayers settled into peace. You sit on the marble edge of the pool, feeling the coolness of the stone through your clothes, grounding you, centering you in this perfect moment, this perfect place, this perfect communion with all that is sacred, eternal, true. The water falls from tear to tear, creating a rhythm that matches your heartbeat, your breathing, the pulse of life itself. You feel your own rhythms synchronizing with the fountain's music, your being coming into harmony with the garden, with the night. With the approaching dawn, in this harmony, you find a deep understanding of what Zoroaster meant when he spoke of Asha, of truth, of righteousness, of living in harmony with the divine order that underlies all existence. Asha is not a rule imposed from outside, but a rhythm discovered within, a harmony recognized and embraced, a flow that carries you naturally toward goodness, toward light, toward peace. Sitting by the fountain, feeling its rhythm in your bones, you understand that you have always been part of this harmony, this flow, this divine dance. You have simply forgotten, distracted by the noise of daily life, by worries, by fears, by the illusion of separation from the source of all blessing. That here, in this garden, in this moment, in this sacred silence, you remember who you are, where you come from, where you are going. You remember that you are beloved, blessed, eternal, a spark of the divine flame, a note in the cosmic symphony, a drop in the ocean of infinite love. The fountain continues its gentle song as you sit in perfect stillness, perfect peace. Time has no meaning here in this eternal moment, this sacred now that holds all moments, all possibilities, all blessings. You close your eyes and let the fountain's music wash over you, wash through you, carrying away all tension, all worry, all sense of burden or struggle or fear. You are cleansed, renewed, restored to your original nature, your divine essence, your perfect peace. When you open your eyes, the sky has grown noticeably lighter, the deep blue giving way to purple, to rose, to the faintest gold at the eastern horizon. Dawn is coming, slowly, surely, beautifully, bringing new light to the garden, to your heart, to your understanding. But still, there is time. Time for this sacred communion. Time for this perfect peace. Time to receive all the gifts that the night has offered, all the blessings that the garden has bestowed, all the wisdom that the cypress shadows have whispered in the pre-dawn breeze. You rise slowly, reluctantly, knowing that your time in this sacred space is drawing to a close, that dawn will bring new revelations, new blessings, but also the end of this perfect, peaceful pilgrimage through the garden of your dreams. But as you prepare to leave the fountain, you realize that you are not really leaving anything behind. The peace you have found, the wisdom you have received, the love you have felt, all of this goes with you, becomes part of you, remains forever in your heart, your spirit, your very being. This garden, this fountain, these cypress shadows, this jasmine fragrance, all of it lives now within you, as much as around you, as accessible, in memory, as in presence, as eternal, in spirit, as in stone, and water, and living tree. You bow deeply to the fountain, to its 7 tiers of blessing, to its perfect music, to its gift of harmony, of peace, of remembrance, of who you truly are. Your bow is gratitude, is reverence, is recognition of the sacred in all things, the divine in all places, the eternal in all moments. Walking away from the fountain, you feel its blessing following you, surrounding you, supporting your every step, your every breath, your every heartbeat. You are not alone, have never been alone, will never be alone, for you carry within you the presence of all you have encountered, experienced, received in this sacred place. The path leads you now toward what appears to be the garden's edge, where the cultivated beauty gives way to wilder spaces, to hills covered with scrub oak and wild herbs, to the untamed landscape that stretches beyond the garden's careful boundaries. But even here, at the edge, the garden's influence continues. Its peace extends. Its blessing reaches into the wild spaces beyond. For the sacred has no boundaries, no limits, no ending. It flows everywhere, touches everything, blesses all creation with its infinite love. You stand at the garden's threshold, looking out at the hills, now faintly visible in the growing light. Somewhere out there, beyond the horizon, a sun is preparing to rise, to bring the new day, to illuminate the world with its golden blessing. And you are ready, ready for that light, ready for that new beginning, ready to carry the garden's gifts, the night's wisdom, the cypress shadows teaching into whatever awaits you in the coming day. You turn one last time to look back at the garden, at the cypress trees, standing like silent guardians, at the jasmine glowing white in the pre-dawn light, at the fountain still singing its eternal song, at all the beauty, all the peace, all the sacred presence that has blessed your journey through this holy place. And you whisper a prayer of gratitude, a promise to remember, a commitment to carry the garden's gifts into the world, to be a blessing, as you have been blessed to share the peace you have received, to live in harmony with the divine rhythm you have discovered in the fountain song, in your heart's beat, in the eternal dance of existence. As cypress trees seem to nod in the gentle breeze, acknowledging your prayer, your promise, your gratitude. The jasmine releases one more wave of fragrance, blessing your departure, your return to the world beyond the garden's walls. And you walk on, carrying within you the memory of cypress shadows, of jasmine perfume, of fountains singing, of perfect peace, discovered in the sacred moments before dawn, when the world holds its breath, and the eternal whispers its secrets to all who have eyes to see, ears to hear, hearts to receive, the infinite blessings that surround us, always, in every moment, in every place, in every breath we take in this beautiful, sacred, eternal dance of existence. The shadows begin to retreat as the light grows stronger, but they leave behind their gift of mystery, of depth, of the knowledge that even in darkness there is beauty, there is purpose, there is the gentle presence of the divine, watching over all creation with infinite love, infinite patience, infinite compassion. Thank you for spending this time with us. We hope this story brought you peace and inspiration. Support the channel by liking, subscribing, and leaving your comments and suggestions below. Your feedback shapes what comes next. Until the next story, may your nights be calm and your dreams sweet.